we spent 24 hours trying to convince our kids how good a club this is, and they're a good club. They don't come in here 11-3 by accident. I don't care what competition you're playing or what level. When your team's hitting 353 coming into a contest, what would that be? 14 games into a season, you can hit, and these guys can hit. They're a good club. They had the one mistake defensively that really cost them, but they pitch good and they can hit, and we got two more. And I think our kids understand fully how good a club they are.
How much confidence, I asked one of the players, how much confidence you get in your kids to see them grind out wins like this on Friday night and just extend the lead, come from behind, just doing whatever they got to get done?
Well, it makes you feel good because the club, if you look at the last 7 or 8 years, the Texas clubs that had so much success, that won national championships, every game was a one-run game. You look at South Carolina's blueprint. I mean, a lot of one-run games. They pitched it. They played defense. I think with the bats, I think in our yard here at Duty Noble, I think every game we're going to play is going to be close. And that's really how we tried to design it. And that's in the fall, we spend all of our time in one-run situations. First and third, one-run bunt situations. And I think our kids really understand. I don't think they're going to get to a point where they're going to get overly jittery in a one-run situation because we're going to be in a bunch of them. Every game's going to be like that for us.
What's been the big turnaround for DeMarcus? I mean, he's seeing the ball better. He seems like he's getting used to the outfield every day. It just seems like he's kind of a different kid.
Well, a year ago, literally he couldn't see for an entire semester. He had a tough time seeing. Went to contacts and he just couldn't make that work. And every day he would come up and he'd say, "Coach, I just can't see." So I think the LASIK surgery, and I think that was big. I know it sounds crazy. You want to talk about the mechanics of the game, but I think he can see the baseball now, and I think I think he's just a lot more comfortable with everything that he's doing. He's no longer a freshman. He's a year later, and I think he's going to be an outstanding base runner, and he's an explosive guy with his feet. He can pressure the defense, but I also think he's going to hit too. And I feel a little bad for him just in the sense that he's such a great athlete. We've put him all over the field. He hadn't been able to just sit in one spot and try and improve, in that part of the field. I think if we keep him in the outfield enough, I think that he gets better and becomes a pretty solid defensive outfielder.
Stratton maybe wasn't the sharpest, but gave you what you had to have.
He didn't command it the way that he normally does, but, you still look at his line there. I mean, he walked 5, but he punched out 7, and, he threw great pitches when he needed to. And I'm not making excuses for these guys. These are tough. This is a tough conditions to pitch under when it's really cool and you have some longer innings in there. If you get to come in and out, it's like a 1-0 game or, like that, all of a sudden it's easier for you to go out there and execute. But Caleb sat over there for 11 minutes. And then he had to get right back on there and on the bump, and it really took him one hitter to get right back into his command, but he found it. But yeah, I mean, Strat was fine. I think he's going to be fine. I think it's to a point where he expects more out of himself, and that's a plus. And I think he will have better days ahead of him for sure. But this was not a bad day for Chris Strat.
He got some base.